Wow, I think our story when it comes to pivoting is probably going to go down in history as one of the most monumental ones.
Wow.
But our business started out as a laundry business.
So the next stop is Lavanda. I don't really know much about them. I know that they're a prop tech business built on a SaaS platform, but this is a good opportunity to learn, and it's quite rainy, and we'll get to their office and see what's it like inside. See you there. So hello, and thank you for inviting us to your office.
My pleasure. Thank you for coming.
So can you start by introducing yourself and what Lavanda does and what type of value it provides to customers and users?
So my name is Guy Westlake. I'm the founder of Lavanda. And Lavanda is a software platform that allows property players, so institutional landlords, for want of a better word, to access the opportunities in the short-term rental market. On the other side of our marketplace, we enable property managers to service that demand and manage those units to provide an amazing hospitality experience for guests.
How would you define an institutional landlord?
So an institutional landlord is somebody who's doing this for commercial purposes. Okay, so it's not necessarily to do with the number of properties that they have. It's are they doing it to optimize the yield and profit from the opportunity. It can be somebody with a small number of properties, a small portfolio landlord. It can be an institution that has blocks of hundreds. It can be portfolios, pension funds that might have tens or even hundreds of thousands of units globally. It doesn't matter to us. The toolkit is fundamentally the same, which is we enable them to see the performance of those units across the various rental channels that they are renting them out on, be it short, medium or long term. I mean, the core premise, the value proposition to a landlord, to a landlord client of ours, it's about optimization of the performance of their portfolio.
Is this certain product market fit that you have achieved, is it your first iteration? Has the business gone through other pivots before reaching this point?
Wow, I think our story when it comes to pivoting is probably going to go down in history as one of the most monumental ones.
Wow.
But our business started out as a laundry business. We realized really quickly, like in the first few months, that everybody using our laundry service was actually a short-term rental operator or an Airbnb host. And when we studied that a little bit more, the short-term rental market, we realized it was fraught with a number of interesting dynamics, let's say. Well, first of all, it was a market that was growing incredibly fast, right, globally. Secondly, is a lot of it was illegitimate. So a lot of it was tenants who were kind of illegitimately subletting their properties on Airbnb. And I guess there was another, that was a significant part of it. And the other thing was the property managers, the Airbnb management companies that were managing those units, were not managing those units in line with the local regulations. So there was a bunch of things that was broken around the short-term rental ecosystem. And we saw it as a real shame because it's an ecosystem that has the potential to deliver so much value, right? We saw an opportunity to come in to address the problems that were structural in this ecosystem around legitimizing short-term rentals within buildings, providing the toolkit that enables residents of buildings to tap into it in a way that is insured and not in breach of leases, mortgages, etc. And on the other side, give a toolkit that allows property managers to manage those units, so to provide a hassle-free service and delight guests with that service, but do so in a way that's transparent and, again, legitimate. Our core mission is to build a short-term rental ecosystem that is, working to deliver value, have impact at a social and economic level, right? And bring it out of the woods from being, a little bit a grey area that people are kind of slightly hesitant to embrace, and bring it into something that actually creates fundamental value in society.
Yeah. So in terms of employee size and so both internal size and external size, which is, I guess, clients and customers and revenue and growth. So, and
thinking back to the inception of this company,
Yeah.
can you give us an idea about all those? So, how long have you been in business? What's the team size now?
Sure. So we launched the business initially in 2015. That was as a laundry business. We then shut that down and we started out as a property manager initially. That was a very small team of maybe like 5 people. That was 2015, so mid-late 2015. From there, we've now grown into the sort of technology platform that we are today. We built the technology over a course of 3.5, 4 years. The team today is, at the beginning of the year it was 24. Today it's 30, and by the end of the year we'll be about 40 people.
Okay, so how does your history of funding play into this? Did you bootstrap at any stage? Because it immediately begs the question: how did you sustain yourself through this period?
We've raised capital to grow the business and to essentially to find the product market fit that we now have. We are Series A funded. We raised $5 million over the summer. Prior to that, we'd raised a total of about $4 million, so we've raised $9 million in total. And yeah, we're looking now to grow this business. The trajectory has been actually establishing and finding the product market fit in the UK. We're now growing the business internationally at some pace. We have clients in South America, in Europe, in Australia, in Middle East. So we're growing at quite a pace now.
Do you think being in London gives an edge to especially fintech and proptech businesses?
I mean, I could talk for a long time about this. I think the talent pool in London is exceptional, but it's exceptionally competitive, right? And sadly, when it comes to winning the best talent, which is basically what great businesses are built upon, forget great ideas, it's about great people, right? It does come down to funding, right? It does come down to having the funds to be able to pay the best engineers, the best product managers to come and join your startup, because you're competing for the best, right? And so having access to funding, to pay market salaries and to engage the best talent is a massive challenge. You've got to fight really, really hard to win the talent because you're competing with the US, right?
Yeah.
And so access to resources is a challenge.
So can you talk about the people side of growth when it comes to Lavanda? And with that, I'd really like to hear how you would define your culture. Usually these are very difficult to understand from the outside. So from what does life look like from the inside?
Great businesses are profitable businesses, first of all, right? There's no such thing as a good, unprofitable business. I mean, just look at the moment, like at WeWork, all these businesses which have been built hideously unprofitably and they're all collapsing. So it's a house of cards. So I think what we do is we are believers in building a really robust business, okay, that offers value to investors, and value to investors in the form of a profitable entity. When it comes to culture, okay, that's super important in terms of engaging your people. Everyone in our business has equity in the business, right? They hold shares of some description or other. That's super important, right? It's super important that everyone, when you join a business, a startup business that's working on something, ambitious, right? You want to make sure that the reason everyone joins that business is because they are willing to commit their hard work and energy to build something out of nothing, right? And I think it's only right that everyone gets a share of the upside that they create. When we work the long hours and we have to deal with, the problems that arise, day in, day out in a startup, we're all equally motivated to go that extra mile, because if you're not willing to go that extra mile, your business will fail, okay? That's just, the odds are against you, right? The senior decision making, I mean, let's say the core decision making, the strategic decision making in the business is kept within the senior management team. We have a very flat senior management team, so there's no real hierarchy. I sit alongside, the CEO, the chief product officer, the chief operating officer, the COO, and together we sit and we make decisions and we respect each other's strengths. We also, are aware of each other's weaknesses, and we build upon that. That said, the culture of the business is not the senior management team. The culture of the business is the people, right? It's everyone. Yeah. And to that extent, we desperately try to build a business that is engaging, rewarding, and understanding of the people who build that business. We get out of bed in the morning to do something that we all believe is going to have a fundamental impact on the way we live, right? And that is a very unifying thing. It makes Lavanda a cause, right? A cause that bonds people from very diverse backgrounds, diverse skill sets around a kind of common denominator, and it's core to who we are.
I'm Meredith Estrin, and I'm the COO.
Perfect.
I'm Dan Taylor. I'm the head of people and internal operations. We started as a short-term rental operator, so we essentially went in the early days and turned people's houses into hotels. So we were incredibly operational, and the journey over the last 3.5 years from an operational business to where we are today, where we focus on technology, has been quite a journey. So quite a few different people that we've got to interact with, and it's a journey that I think most people would say we've learned a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. We've made quite a large pivot over the last year into being a pure tech business that is a B2B business as opposed to a B2C business. But I think because we were working as an operational company first, it really gave us a strong foundation to actually build the software that we now use and sell to other companies. Honestly, it is the people that you'll see, like the senior team of this business has been here for several years. We're very close, and it's really become like a second family to me, honestly. And it's just we've gone through so much together in terms of building the business. There's obviously lots of ups, there's lots of downs, and it really like bonds you as a team. And then it's really exciting to hire people and develop their careers as well. So that's absolutely been one of the most rewarding parts of being here for me.
Yeah, definitely. I think the people side is so important, getting to work with like-minded people, but also people who have a shared goal, but actually incredibly different skill sets. And one of the things that I love, I think I speak on behalf of both of us, but you know, the ability to work with people with different skill sets and talents and actually grow yourself by spending so much time with them in a business that has pivoted, and as more people come in with different skill sets, you really get to learn from them, and that for me has been incredibly valuable.
So what are some of the SaaS tools that you depend on to sustain the business?
Good question. So we are a SaaS business, first of all, so we are or aspire to be a SaaS tool for the real estate industry. We are also a massive user of SaaS tools within our business, like all I guess so we use HubSpot for a kind of CRM tool for our sales pipeline. We use Stripe for payments, and I'm sure we use multiple others. Those are the ones that come to mind. But we use it within the lines of business. We're heavily reliant on third-party technologies. I believe very, very much in platforms or solutions as a service. They are a key enabler of high-growth, early-stage businesses, right?
They're almost like building blocks.
They are
something more complex.
They're exactly building blocks. They are enabling solutions that allow you to get to the next stage. And if over time you start to need to replace those and build your own solutions, that's great. When you get to that stage, you've earned the right to do that. But they're enablers, and I'm a massive believer in them.
That's great. So with that in mind, what are some key future milestones for the business?
There's a number of them actually. I guess although we've just raised a Series A round, we are now starting to think about our Series B round. So that will be a major milestone for the business. That will happen in 2020, probably sometime around the middle of the year. In terms of, we have our international rollout, so that's a really important sort of laying kind of beachheads into the core markets. The core markets for us being US, Europe, Middle East. That's our kind of specific focus. And I mean, the other milestone is we're looking to build a profitable business, as I said, and actually we want to make a serious commitment and progress towards profitability, which we expect to come in the next certainly within the next 12 months.
Fantastic. Is there anything you'd like to add for people who are potentially listening to us and thinking about either joining in the company, investing in the company, learning more about it? If you have any comments, I'd like to hear those.
I mean, it's a broad question. We are always hiring great talent, right? We're growing very fast. We're specifically interested in great engineers of multiple disciplines, great product management talent, and we are constantly hiring for those roles. In terms of do we want to hear from you, we're always willing to and interested in speaking to people who are based in and around real estate. That's our core market. I think anyone who has an interest in understanding more about the reality of short-term renting, the value that offers landlords, the challenges that offers property managers, and the various solutions that are available to kind of both solve problems in that space and also unlock opportunities. That's our core business, and we aspire to become the global authority on that. Anyone who's interested in understanding, investing in, and partnering with a business in our space, please reach out.
Well, thanks for this conversation. I think it's been a privilege to get to know about Lavanda firsthand from you.
Yeah, pleasure. Thank you.
I think there are very valuable insights in terms of what you experienced, in terms of the pivots you had as a business, how you're growing and sustaining growth, being in London and all that. So I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Lizzie.
Thanks
Cheers.
for the interview.
Bye.